Okay, everybody, welcome to the weekly Inside Real Estate lead generation and conversion tactics episode here. Can somebody please say that you can hear me? Let me know that you can see my screen and hear me, if you would please. Annalisa, are you there? Thank you, William. Cool. Well, let's get going. I don't think I announced what the topic will be today, but it is one that people have asked a lot about since we started doing this. So I'll get some stuff out of the way first, though. Yes, this will be recorded. Recordings will be posted to the facebook.com/conversion and group/conversion and the KB Core groups. And if you have any questions specific to this topic, you can either use conversion support, the comment box, wherever you're watching this, or feel free to email me at rhartman@insiderealestate.com. So let's go ahead now. What we are going to do today, let me play with my new drawing tool right here. We are going to talk about Zapier.com and ways that you can use Zapier to extend and integrate your conversion KB Core account with third-party systems. And I think these days, with the state of lead generation, marketing, and conversion, any system that doesn't have an API or a way to bridge into an API, I think that stands for Application Programming Interface or something like that, is really behind the times. And of course, here at Conversion KB Core, we're not behind the times. We are fully, we have Zapier integration, and it can do a lot of stuff and allow you to extend and integrate in a lot of different ways. And we're going to talk about some of that today. So let me clear this off here, and we'll start by talking about what is Zapier. So Zapier is I'm goofing around with this tool a little bit. It's confusing me a little. But Zapier is an app that lets you connect with other apps. I want to go to their homepage here. So Zapier.com. Can you guys tell me in the chat, how many of you guys are using this already or have heard of it? Let me know where you are with Zapier. Is it totally new and you've never heard of it before? Or is it something that you really want to know about? Just so I can kind of gauge sentiment. That would be helpful if you just want to chat that. But basically, it allows you to connect your apps and automate workflows. It can tie conversion to a lot of different other things. The most common use that I personally use it for is pushing leads in from sources like Facebook ads. So that's what Zapier is. I'm going to talk quickly about how to find your keys, and then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty and some use cases for how to use Zapier. So here's how to find your API keys, which you're going to need once you're ready to create a Zap, is what they call them with Zapier. The first place, if you're a regular conversion user, is going to be to go under your settings tab where it says My Settings. What you're going to want to do is scroll down, and you will find in the middle here the Zapier right here. You can use the link to connect your conversion account to Zapier, and then your API key is a little bit further down right here. Not sure why they're not next to each other, but no big deal. One here and one there. You're going to need these two. Now, if you're on KB Core, you can find this on the lead engine page, and then I believe it's lead sync. So if you go to, I'm sorry, lead Dropbox. Yes, lead Dropbox. And then the URL ends in lead sync here, and you'll be able to find your Zapier key right over here. And you're going to need to copy that. Now, you're going to notice that your office and individual agents have different keys. If you're watching this and you're managing a broker account in old conversion, you will actually find this in your broker login. Not using the one agent has used it. No, want to know how. Great. Thank you guys for the comments. I really appreciate the participation. Okay, so that's where, just know that your Zapier keys are in your back end, and if you need help finding them, you can always hit support really quickly, but I just kind of showed you where to go right there. Okay, the next thing we'll talk about now are the example uses and Zaps. I am probably going to spend a little time walking you through the creation of a Facebook lead ad, because that's where a lot of people start to want to know about this. Facebook lead ads is a feature from Facebook that allows you to inject a lead directly into into a any third-party CRM that you want via Zapier. And the cool thing about Facebook lead ads, of course, is that when you use them, I'm going to bring an example one up. When you use them, they pre-fill the information that Facebook has on file, name, email, phone number, and it's accurate information because Facebook tends to have the real cell number of their users. People give the real cell number because they want to be able to get notifications and things like that. So I just want to show you this ad here. This is an ad I was making here, sitting here at Bond Street South in Florida, where I'm recording this with Pete today. But basically, it's a video, and then if somebody clicks the Apply Now link, it's going to do a pop-up, and look at the coolness here. And I really want to stress this. I know you guys have seen this a lot, but some of you may not have. This information right here is real. If you call this, you'll actually, I gave them my Google Voice number, but this information is all real, and I don't plan to change it. And very few people, I've almost never seen it happen, even though I could go in here and kind of change so that you don't get my real address before I opt in. Most people are not going to do that. They're just going to click submit, and then the lead is going to get injected, and then they can continue on to the whatever page you want to take them to next. So it's important for me to show you, this is the Facebook lead ad objective. Let me walk through how one of those are created. I'm not going to dig deep on the structure of these. I just want to give you the general idea of what you can do with Zapier, this being one of the biggest use cases. So if I click create, actually not a great example. Let me go back here. If you're in your Facebook ads account and you click create, lead generation is an objective. And there's so many different options with Facebook ads, but I'll tell you what, you could build a really cracking real estate mortgage practice. Almost any business could do really well just running these types of ads, which is why I think Zapier becomes so important. If I go here and I click create new ad, it's this option, the lead generation option right here. Seeing a Word document on your screen, Oleg. You guys, everybody else is seeing the proper screen, I hope.
Hey, Ryan, it's Annalisa. I do see your Facebook Ads Manager screen.
Perfect. Thank you. That throws me off sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what that could be? I like saying it's on the iPhone. Guys, sometimes if you're viewing this on the GoToWebinar app, there could be some lag, things of that nature, and it's going to be different for all of us depending on our connections. So thank you, Annalisa, for letting me know. It always trips me out.
Sure, and just remember, slow down. Slow down.
Yeah. So it is the lead generation objective, and then you can continue, create your ad, and then you're going to build out your form after you've created the ad and picked all your objectives. So I'll just show you that. I'm going to walk through this. Let's pretend I picked all the options. And then I'll be clicking a form, and the interesting thing is you can ask whatever questions you want. Now, there's a lot to this. It's kind of a loaded thing. It deserves its own probably whole hour about it. But you can choose the data that you want to collect. And what I found is, for whatever reason, generally with web forms, like on squeeze pages, it's better to only ask for one piece of information. But with Facebook lead ads, because people don't have to put any effort into giving you the information, it's already pre-filled, you can actually get away with going first name, last name, email, phone number. I've tested it both ways, and the conversion rates are almost always identical between asking for more or less information. So you can even get the full address if you want to, which becomes particularly useful if you're trying to generate seller leads. Good question. Two good questions. Is Zapier a paid third-party service? It's free, and then they have a paid version. If you do want to use the Facebook ads, I think you do need to pay for that. I think it's the $20 a month version. And is this needed to do Facebook ads? Not at all. It is just well known out there in lead gen world, and a lot of agents ask me about Zapier with respect to creating lead ads. It's well known that lead ads can get you very good, accurate information, but you do not have to use the lead ad objective, and in that case, you won't need Zapier. Now, if you are doing this, probably recommend that you use Zapier, but you are also welcome to just manually import the leads you get from these as well into conversion. Okay, so I can ask my questions, create my form here, set this all up, and the reason I'm showing you this now is just to give you some context for what it's going to look like when we get on over into the Zapier side of things. Okay, so let's pretend I created my ad. tied it to my page, did all that, made my offer. And now I want to make sure that this gets injected into my conversion account. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go here. I'm going to click Make a Zap. And I'm going to choose, and all Zaps are going to be this way. So let's use the Facebook as sort of the tutorial for how to set these up. But you can connect any app to another app. And say you were pushing stuff out of conversion, you would choose conversion as the first trigger app. Right here, you see the word trigger. Right here. So the first one's your trigger app. And the second one, or multiple second ones, are the actions that are going to happen. So I'm going to choose to use Facebook ads, and you'll see it pops up when I search Facebook lead ads. Whenever a new lead is created, that's my only option for the trigger. And then I'm going to pick a Facebook account. If the first time you do this, you're going to want to connect Facebook. It'll do it automatically if you're logged into Facebook. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to do much configuration there. And then you're going to pick a page you manage. I'll pick one of my real estate pages. And then I'm going to pick the form, St. Pete Opportunities. The form is the name of the form you created when you built your lead ad. So that'll be pretty obvious if you've already created the lead ad. You're going to pick the form. You'll connect and continue. It'll look for a lead. If you just created it, it won't grab one, but it'll grab dummy data. It calls it. It says like test dummy data, things of that nature in each field. So it just takes a second. I can view that. Oh, and it didn't grab dummy data because I already had this form live. So there is real information there. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to choose conversion or KV Core, like so. So if I want to inject in the KV Core, I'll create a contact. I can connect my account. Okay, oh, there it is. I need my API key, no problem. I will go here and grab that. I could just copy, and I'll plug that in here. I believe that worked. It puts it, well, this is always disorienting. It puts it, there we go. It worked. It didn't show me any message, but it did actually work. So there we go, KV Core. And I just want to add a note. Whenever you connect, you can edit this part so you know what it is. If you're connecting multiple, in this case, I have multiple KV Core accounts that I'm working with, I can always add more. And then what I'm going to do, please watch this closely, is I'm going to map in the fields from my trigger into the app that I'm going into. So in this case, I have my first name. I'm going to click this little insert a field off to the right and click first name. That's going to insert it. I'm going to go here, new last name, and so on. So I'll do email, cell number, and it's nice. I'm always going to get a real cell number, which is particularly useful when you're talking about KV Core and conversions, auto texting capabilities. And believe me, you can generate some conversations with leads really quick by mapping the cell phone into a drip or marketing automation campaign. Lead status. This is cool. I didn't realize this, but is this possible that we can actually use the different statuses that are in? They're going to be new mostly, but that's interesting. We can add a source, date registered, what they're interested in. We can add in street address information, right, and map that all in. And then we can do tags and hashtags too. Again, this is going to be useful. Say we're doing deals, we can assign specific text and email follow-ups based on what hashtags and tags we set right here. So continue. And now every time a lead comes in off of that particular ad, it's going to inject into my KV Core account. Meredith's asking, am I putting the leads in manually? No, we're not doing that. The whole point of Zapier is actually to bridge between the Facebook ads platform in this example and to conversion, so you don't have to do it manually. I was just saying that if you're not using Zapier, you could use Facebook ads and just manually import them later if you want, you know. That somebody had asked about the pricing and all that. All right, so that's one example. We're taking Facebook ads, we're injecting into conversion, and then we're letting conversion or KV Core, all the automation rules that are assigned, take over. That's probably the immediate most popular use a lot of you guys are going to have. Another way to use this would be to use third-party forms, not Facebook. But here's an example from my friend Gustavo down in. We worked on this together about a year ago. He built a website, smartvalue.com, and we actually used something called Typeform to build this. Typeform.com, which is a third-party form generation service. You guys might have seen it out there in a while. And he built his own seller home valuation page, right, with a street address, zip code. He asked a few questions. Are you planning to sell in the next year? First name, last name, etc. And this actually redirects through to an RPR valuation widget. Maybe I'll show you that. I'm sure you guys are curious, right? Just bear with me while I fill out this form. He'll know it's me testing. And then he'll call me, unless he's on right now. If you're on, say hello, Gustavo. And then it'll calculate. Hopefully this is still working. I haven't looked at it in a while. And you see what it did there. We programmed this to pull up an RPR widget. Now, the reason I'm showing you guys this, I don't want to overwhelm you, but the point I'm trying to make is that where you run into limitations with conversion and KV Core, there's not many. I mean, this is probably the most comprehensive system you can get your hands on in the whole industry. But when you want to, and when you need to, you can extend things so they integrate. Now, what's going to happen is off of that first form, now all of this information is going to be zapped into conversion so that the follow-up can happen there from the CRM. Okay, so I hope everybody kind of got the drift there. That's another common use. Many of the form generation services like FormStack, Wufoo, most things that are worth anything these days have a Zapier integration, and it opens you up to do a lot of fun things. I'm going to answer a question here really quickly. I did a Facebook ad after being researched for another one, I ran it, and it was a failure. Is there a secret to these Facebook ads? There are lots of secrets to them, part of the reason that we offer them in the a la carte menu and conversion, and that we do done for you Facebook ads, is so that you can just have us set them up for you. There's no secrets, but it does require a lot of marketing know-how. You know, typically people who studied marketing for years are going to have better results than people who haven't. Or you can just copy the exact examples you see me and other people, people on Facebook talking about, and you should be able to have success. Where people tend to have trouble is where they try to run off, and improvise and do their own thing. You can really blow through budgets quick, not get replies, and also know that things, a lot of stuff that works in one market might not work in other markets. So part of the challenge we have here is designing campaigns that will work in every market, and a lot of the stuff you see me sharing will be like that. You're probably referring to the deals ad. So Catherine, feel free to email me, rhartman@insightrealestate.com. I'd be happy to take a look at your ad and just tell you, any thoughts that come to mind that might help you get on track with that. Okay, so that's it. Zapping leads in third-party forms. There are probably other uses that are just not coming to my head, but this is zapping leads into conversion so that you can work them out of the conversion KV Core system. Now, the next use case for Zapier, and one that I'm very fond of, is tying things into third-party partners, systems. So the common example there would be your mortgage partner, where you say, hey, I want you to work these leads with me, and the partner says, cool, but, and maybe they're logging into conversion with you, but they say, I would also like the leads to go into XYZ CRM. So you can actually zap leads out into other CRMs, third-party services, and we do a lot of this. I do a lot of work with Bond Street Mortgage, who you might have seen in the group. So we do a lot of this where a lead will get zapped in, and then the follow-up can happen using the lender's follow-up system. So that's just one example. I don't think I need to tie into to show you the specific app that's going on there, but just keep in mind you can do that. If you need to. You can also zap your leads out into MailChimp and other autoresponder email systems. Now, this could be very useful for a number of reasons. There's a lot of questions here. Thank you, Annalisa, for handling these. I'll catch up to you guys if needed. If you want sort of an email backup for all of your leads, or you want a way to maybe email or text more frequently than conversion allows, I'm pretty sure emailing is pretty free. It's nice to zap things out into a MailChimp, a GetResponse, Aweber. Maybe some of you guys are using Infusionsoft, and maybe you want to do your mass emailing from those systems. So that would be another use here as well. You can also create texts from Zap. So you can tie into a program like Twilio.com. We hear a lot of, it's for your own good, but we hear a lot of people say, well, why can I only text every 7 days on regular conversion? There are good reasons for that. You know, if Twilio gets spammed just like anything else and too much bad stuff is happening, it could affect the overall health of the main company Twilio account. But if you want to do some texting on your own Twilio account and integrate with conversion, then you'll have the freedom to do so there. And you can actually use Zapier's delay, some Zapier delay features, which I'll talk about in a minute, to space out texts if you want to. You can also do things like send automatic postcards. So you get seller leads, you automatically send a postcard in the mail with API-enabled systems like Banks.io. One of my favorites that I've been playing with recently, I can't really say it's a favorite because I'm not sure how well it's working, but it's cool, is to use something like Slide Broadcast to do automatic voicemails. So I set up a Zap a few weeks ago, and we're actually doing, I'll show you what that Zap looks like. Slide. We're actually having automatic voicemails come out from the mortgage company on the leads that that me and other agents who co-market with the mortgage company generate. So a hook is caught, and then it starts a campaign. I'm giving you a look inside the Zap, and it picks an audio file, and then it'll automatically call. It won't ring the phone, but it'll leave a voicemail and say, hey, this is Shane Bond with Bond Street Mortgage. You were on my buddy Ryan's website yesterday. And I work with him helping get finance. Give me a call back. And actually, one technique here that I'll share is to say in the voicemail, I'm going to send you an email right now. And then the system actually sends out an email, which is pretty cool, to follow up on the voicemail automatically. So that'll give you a taste of some of that automation you can do. Slide broadcast is definitely something cool to look into if you want to personalize and maybe boost conversions, let people hear your voice. And then another interesting option is adding your leads to Facebook retargeting lists. I don't want to blow your brains up. This actually blew mine up a few weeks ago when Shane showed it to me, but we've started to actually add leads into retargeting. I think it's called Send Facebook Offline Conversions for whatever reason, and you can pick a custom audience to zap people into. So that's a very cool trick right there. You can use that Zapier for on the way out. So let me just see here if there are any more questions. Take a breath for a second. So what is the average conversion rate for Facebook buyers ads? One, if you mean the ones in that conversion does, they're going to vary. I think a lot of it is on you to follow up. I think the misconception people have with Facebook ads is they expect leads to just be hot and ready to go right now, and that is not the case. Generally, people are being interrupted in stream with Facebook ads, and then they're opting into something out of curiosity. But the idea is that you're going to get people who will buy or sell someday off into the future. So a lot of the conversion comes down to your ability to get people to know, like, and trust you. And a system like Conversion can help you do that with automated text, blasts, emails, things of that nature, setting people up for automatic alerts. I just posted a video in the Facebook group about that yesterday. And in general, if you're able to give rich, raw content that attracts people to you over time, the conversion rates are going to go up. So the answer is some people who are on Conversion do really, really well with Facebook ads. And some people do really poorly because they expect a higher percentage of people to be ready, willing, and move right now. And keep in mind, you're totally a stranger to most of these leads until they see your name, hear your voice, see your face over and over and over again. So that's the name of the game. All right. Hey, Latricia, yeah, they're recorded. All of these are. And we'll put them on the Facebook page and the Facebook group. Both Facebook groups in this case, where applicable. I think this one applies to both core and regular conversion. Okay, so there we go. Some examples of going out, guys. If you are a Power Zapier user, I'm sure I'm missing interesting use cases here. Please feel free to share those. I really appreciate it. Let us know what you're doing with Zapier, and I'll add it to this little doc here. And of course, if you have any questions, just you can ask support, or if you have Zapier specific questions, you don't have to blow them up with that. I'm always here. If you want to email or just ask in the Facebook group, I'll chime in. Okay, so let's go down to the bottom here. I'm going to just give a couple extra tips and tricks, a little extra geekery here with Zapier. First one I want to talk about is delays. So I think I actually had one here in our slide broadcast. Zapier has a built-in delay feature, which will let you wait a certain amount of time before doing something else. So in this case, it waits 9 minutes for the voicemail to be sent, and then it sends the email. So the way to get the delay is to just click plus right here in the bottom left, and if you type delay in the app, it's just a built-in delay app. You can actually build drip sequences directly in Zapier, texts, postcards, emails, whatever programs you want to tie to. You can, it's really neat stuff. So delay would be the way to use that. So there's one there. Second one would be conditionals. Now, this is very few of us are going to use this, but I just want to share it to give you more bang for your buck here today. What we can do is we can say, hey, I want to add a filter. So I added this little plus, a filter, and I only want to continue this if, and you have a lot of rules you could do. You could say if this field, you know what I mean, does or doesn't contain. And this gets really interesting when you start to, let's say you're generating leads and people have the option to add an address or not add an address. So maybe if they add an address, you'll continue on and say, well, let's send them a thanks.io postcard, right? But if they don't add an address, then you'll kill the Zap will stop. So keep in mind, you can filter here by building in all kinds of logic. It'll look for strings and do all kinds of fun geekery. Next, we have webhooks for advanced API geekery. So if you have a product that has an API, but it doesn't have a proper native Zapier integration, you can use something called webhooks in Zapier. So I wonder if those dinosaurs over at Top Producer, just kidding, but I wonder if Top Producer, I don't know if they have Zapier yet, but they may have an API at this point. A lot of the programs we use every day might have APIs, but they might not have Zapier. And what you can do is you can make a Zap and you can type in webhooks. And you can do all kinds of stuff. This would probably be for those of you who have in-house coders or developers that you're working with. Just keep in mind, if somebody tells you they can't integrate with Zapier, they probably can if they go and take a look at the webhooks option. And then what else do we have? We have, using Gmail for notifications. This isn't so much a tip as a hack, but I tend to do it a lot, especially when I'm testing a campaign. I'll actually email myself a notification that the lead came in. All right, so that's a bad example. Oh, I will show. That's a good one. Here's two good ones right here. So right here, I'll stick to the topic. You can add Gmail and send emails out from Gmail. All right, so if you want to notify an assistant, maybe you want to notify your lender about a lead, but only on certain cities. You know what I mean? You can use the conditionals in combo with the Gmail notification to do that. Would be one example. And then what I just stumbled upon here, I just remembered, was that you can actually auto post using a blog feed to your fan page and other social media. So I can't remember. Boy, I'm going to get myself into trouble. But I think we have RSS feeds for our blogs. So if we just go here, I'm going to have to do it. So you could, in theory, blast every blog post you do that gets posted to your site. Say you're a broker or a team leader and you have all your people blogging. You could then tie in, you can use Zapier to say, hey, anytime there's a post, let's post it to the social media profiles of the people on our team. So we're all kind of cooperating in this content creation. So I don't remember where the blog icon is. It might be a deprecated feature, but that would be one example. And maybe I'll follow up in the group and just say what I found out about this. But I'm pretty sure we have RSS feeds for our blogs. And it might be something like, no. All right, I'll find out about that. Another thing you can do is also post your YouTube videos to different channels. Okay, let's see some questions here. Can my conversion broker site be turned into a team site? I think it's pretty much the same thing, unless you're asking, that might be more of a billing question if you're saying you want to change the plan. I'm not too sure on that, Maureen. That would be a support ticket, I think. KV Core has a lot of that stuff built in, but I'm not sure on the conversion side. And then one other little tip trick is that you can quickly copy. If you did a Zap for, say, one ad, you could click this right, then you can copy it right away and then go and change variables within the new one. All right, guys, I know I went quick. Does anybody have any additional questions about Zapier? This was one of the topics that was asked for in our first few sessions here. I figured I'd get to it soon because people keep emailing and asking about it. Bottom line is it's a little more advanced, but it's good information to store in the back of your head or to give to the people on your team or at your company who are a little more tech savvy. And if you ever feel like you have the need to integrate multiple systems to make them work together with Conversion or KV Core, this is where you're going to want to go to do it. Cool. Well, if there's no other questions, I'll kind of wait another minute. We can just stop today. I think we covered this topic pretty comprehensively. And yeah, I would definitely look. I'm not sure what like the RedX, Mojo, some of the other programs giving data for FSBOs and expireds are doing, but I imagine they probably have APIs at this point. You might find that that's a good way to tie those systems into. Will Zapier tell me what it all integrates with? Good question. If you go to Zapier, you can browse the apps that they integrate with. Or the one thing I like to do is the search box right here. So if you're curious, like I'm curious, does it integrate with Mojo? I think so. Is that Mojo the dialer?
Hey, Ryan, just keep in mind with Mojo, they only allow incoming into Mojo, but not outcoming back to us.
Okay, great to know. Thanks.
Yeah.
So I have a top producer. Let's see. Yeah, they're not in there. But there are many things that are. You can actually create appointments for yourself on Google Calendar. There's just so much fun you can have with this, and you might find, this might be something you forget about for a few weeks, and then it's always going to happen. You're like, wait a minute, maybe we can accomplish that with Zapier. And a lot of times you can. It does integrate with Follow Up Boss. Yeah, because I built a few Follow Up Boss apps recently, and specifically Follow Up Boss. Tying Follow Up Boss to conversion. So I've done that a few times recently, and it does work nicely. It's right here. Cool. Okay, guys, I hope this was good content this week for you. Keep in mind, we have the Facebook groups. There's constantly fresh new stuff added there. There is a wonderful support team here at Conversion at KV Core. If you ever need help or have questions, just click the icons and the buttons at the bottom of your, here we go. And you can always get help. And we'll be back. Thanks, Holly. We'll be back next Tuesday. And in the meantime, keep an eye on the Facebook groups for more content like this. We'll be dropping little videos from time to time in addition to these weekly sessions that will be posted. All right, everybody have a great week. See you, Annalisa. Thank you.